Hello, and welcome to 50 Minutes of Consulting Best Practices. Hello, Mr. David A. Fields. How are you today? Happy Monday.
I'm doing outstanding, and it's good to see you. It's gloomy up here in this part of New England, so I put on all sorts of bright lights to make it feel
Welcome,
less
South.
gloomy.
We got
It,
plenty of sunshine, heat, and humidity to spread out.
do
So,
you? Nice.
all right. Thank you for joining us in this space. We answered your questions about your consulting firms to help create growth and delight for you in as tactical and practical a manner as we can. Our answers are informed by our experience working with, we're at about 400 firms, David, and growing every day, right? So we bring all of that into the conversation in addition to David's own experiences and my own as well. The questions we're answering are your questions, so keep submitting them. You can ask them live. And we also welcome your input into the questions and your experience into questions that other people are asking. So let's make this and keep this interactive. Hi,
Hello,
John.
John.
Good to hear you. All right. So without further ado, Deidre, can you please pull up the first question that was submitted for today? And David, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
So this question is from Sakina. What are some examples of terms that are negotiable other than just the scope and fees? Oh, that's awesome. What else can you negotiate
That's a good
other
one.
than scope and fees?
I'm going to totally cheat on that. Oh, good. John's got a question. We'll get to John's question next. And I'm not sure who's out there. So if you're out there, here's what I want to know from you. What else do you negotiate? So what do you negotiate other than just scope and fees? I'll give you some ideas because we have something called the contract tuning keys. And so I can draw on that. But what do you negotiate? So it's a really good question because the fact is there is a lot that you can play with in your bundle of terms and scope and fees and all of that. So here's some thoughts. One is access to you or access to your firm. The amount of access, the timing of access, all of that can be negotiated. And giving clients access to you, to your firm, is of value. And so that's something you can add more in or less of. Good. There's some good other things coming in from Fran also. Okay, what else can you negotiate? You could negotiate your ability to see future projects. For instance, you could ask for first right of refusal on follow-on projects. That could be negotiated. Cancelability could be negotiated. Our projects are all non-cancelable, but that is something that could be negotiated because all contracts are just risk management tools, right? So cancelability is one way to shift risk from you to the client. And they could say, wait, we want to shift that back. Okay, we will take on that risk. In order to take on cancelability risk, we'll need something, a make good somewhere else. What else could you negotiate? Isabel?
Daniel is suggesting fee timing, right? So when
Absolutely.
do they pay? That's another contract tuning key for sure.
Yeah, and I would say and flexibility in fees and fee structures, which is different than fees themselves. That's absolutely a good one. Your intrusiveness, your level of intrusiveness could also be kind of negotiated, whether you're going to have the whole team there on site 3 days a week, or you're going to be a light footprint, which is different from scope. You have the same scope of work, but how you perform that work and how intrusive you are. Publicity is common. Sorry, go ahead, Marie-Isabel.
There's another one tied to timing, which is how fast the project is going overall. Sometimes clients are like, yeah, we waited, we want this delivered September 30th. You can say, look, our normal work plan is, say, 5 months. However, we can put in an acceleration fee, which means it's more intensive and we go faster without delivery. That's another one.
Absolutely right. And interestingly, you can do the reverse. So for a lot of our clients that are capacity constrained, you can negotiate in the ability to take a vacation. Say, can we have the flexibility to extend this project by 2 weeks if necessary? And at any point, take like a couple of weeks off. And that's basically a call option on capacity. There's great ideas coming in from the group also. External data purchases, cost of software to deliver the work. Absolutely. That you can negotiate. Confidentiality of data and insights, or ability to use them. Yeah. I love that as a term, Shankar, that you could negotiate. As we do this, we're going to, we want the ability to bring this into our broader database, or to use our learnings for, the broader world. We did that, Marisabel, in some of our work for, large staffing platform, where part of it was we also want the ability to use what we learn to inform consultants like everybody here.
Right. And we co-own the data to some extent. Version with a person, timeline extensions, all of these are great ideas. So going back to the original questions, what else can you negotiate? There's a wealth of factors, right? And contract tuning keys. And hopefully that gives you ideas to put in practice, to test, and to drive through into your proposals.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on replay, I also encourage you to post in the comments other things that you negotiate, because that'll be helpful. That's excellent. All right, John asked a question, so I get to ask whatever he asked. I get to ask of you, Marisabel, because you put me on the spot. Okay, everyone seems to be on pause through the end of the year. Oh no, that's Fran. Just got back from vacation. How do I get focused quickly?
All right, John, welcome back. Welcome back from vacation. Part of being focused quickly is you had defined priorities for the end of the year before you left. You had planned your off ramp for your vacation, embedded in that. And if you hadn't, we encourage you to do to everyone who's planning on taking a break, what's the on ramp as well, right? What needs to happen first? And I will think of things that are urgent, that have visibility with clients. I would also think of things that are a precursor of your next step of work, whether it's with clients or with your firm. What do you need to get restarted right now? That it's a ritual that you had in place. Hopefully all of those around business development are restarted the day you come back, if not the day after you come back, right? What is a precursor to other delivery pieces or other internal projects that you're developing through the end of the year and that you need to put some energy into today? Fair? David, what do you add? What do you change from my response?
I like that. That was more impressive than what I was going to come up with. So I like that answer. I recommend eating tons of chocolate to get yourself jump started, and I think for most of us, once we are in action, it's easier. I mean, when you come back from vacation, especially if it's an extended vacation, I take off a month at a time. There's definitely a little bit of, wait a second, it was more fun being on vacation. As much as I love this work, vacation's really fun. And, but when you're in action, those steps sort of go away. So it's more like have things for yourself to do, which is what Marisabel, what you said, get those rituals back into place, get moving. And then it becomes easy pretty quickly.
Right. Thank you, John. Right. I'm glad to see that it was helpful. All right. Then. And
then Fran asked a question.
Fran had a question as well. So I'm going to put you on the spot this time.
Great.
Everyone seems to be on pause through the end of the year. Is there anything we can do to help close some deals?
So if people have said we're on pause till the end of the year, I actually wouldn't necessarily focus on trying to close them right away. I would be saying to yourself, oh, great, we are seeding 2025. So we're actually making 2025 look good because we've all these things on pause. and put yourself in the best position to close those in October-ish, maybe, because then they're ready for the new year.
Right.
So have all of that, all of those folks who are on pause there, and then focus on new conversations, and find the people who are urgent and eager to start right now. Trying to create urgency is very difficult, very frustrating, and often backfires, because their urgency, if you try to create it, becomes borrowed. It's leaning on your passion, your urgency. And then when you pull yourself out of the picture and they talk internally, all of a sudden they're back to, wait a second, we don't really need to do this right now. It also might be upside down, because there might be good reasons for them to wait. And trying to push them to do something now is in your best interest, but may not be in their best interest. So right side up, maybe just wait and just be in more conversations. Okay, Maria Isabel, what do you think? Different?
No, absolutely. I'm completely aligned with you, right? There's two thoughts that I would add to the conversation. Maintain the momentum. It's embedded in, David, what you shared, but I want to call it out explicitly, right? So the fact that somebody says, I would be ready to sign in November, doesn't mean in any form that you don't speak with them until November.
Right.
So you keep maintaining that relationship warm and aligning, okay, November, we said November. At the same time, take the pressure of that particular proposal or that particular piece of work until November comes, right? Which is the other element that's embedded in what you shared, David. And lastly, it's very valid to say, got it. We're waiting until November for this one. Is there anything you need right now?
Yeah.
Is there any way we can help right now? And it's not an expectation of your prospect or your client saying, yes, there will be something right now, but there is that connection that I'm here to help and I'm here to support and I'm here to add value that remains hopefully open. So excellent. As you can keep that in mind as you have conversation. Fran, hopefully that's helpful. Let us know. All right.
All right.
We have time for one more
were there other questions in there? Let's see what we have that people sent in, Deidre, because I want to be fair to people who sent in their questions. I struggle to identify new opportunities that allow me to expand beyond my additional scope unless it's an obvious upsell. Could you give me tips? Okay, Leslie asked this. What do you think, Maria Isabel?
All right. So there's a couple of things for Leslie to keep in mind. One, and congratulations, right, on having good relationship with your clients. Suggestion is always be in a learning mindset. What creates opportunities outside the scope of work that you've already committed to do is knowing your clients really well and understanding what their priorities are that you're not working on together. What are their needs? What are their resource constraints? What are they thinking about, right? That gives you an opportunity to have a conversation about those things. Deliver your work with excellence. Don't take your foot off of the accelerator pedal, right? That's a requirement. And lastly, I encourage people to create a space to have a leader-to-leader conversation that is not about the projects you're currently doing. The same type of conversation you hopefully had when you were doing business development, where you started with connection. Don't let those go because you have a project. So at least once every couple of months, if not more frequently, have a touch point that is specifically not designed around your project. David, what do you think?
That's where I was going to go. Set up a conversation that's outside the project.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's good. And believe it or not, that takes us to the bottom of our 15 minutes. So those of you who ask questions, those of you who are just listening and lurking, thank you for spending 15 minutes with Maria Isabel and with me. A couple of quick notes before you go. If you don't have Monday Live, davidafills.com, Monday Live, Deidre put down there. Your calendar, please add that to your calendar so you come back here without needing a reminder. If you don't get our weekly articles, subscribe. Oh, look, thanks, Deidre. davidafields.com/subscribe, and then you can comment on those. If you happen to run a consulting firm that's a 7-figure consulting firm, there's something, it's not a David A. Fields thing. It's but something we are part of called the Boutique Consulting Forum. And definitely, if you can, look into that, because that is really awesome. It was just amazing, the last one. And that's it. So thank you for coming and being with us. Hope you have a fabulous week. As always, remember, consulting is about them. It's about your clients. It's about your prospects. And so you give them value and give them kindness. And we will see you next week.
Thank you. Ciao.